Welcome. I'm Molly Levine, Deputy Director of Kulanu. As many of you know, Harriet Bograd, our president and leader of Kulanu for 20 years, passed away just before Rosh Hashanah. We at Kulanu are heartbroken, but remain committed to the mission to honor Harriet's legacy. We've received hundreds of tributes from around the world. This afternoon, I'd like to share a special memorial video from Apache, Uganda. This community was very special to Harriet.
On behalf of Apache Synagogue, children of Ben David, and the staff of Ben David at large, we would like
Can't
to
hear it,
express
Molly.
our condolence to the family of Harriet Bograd, who passed on just few days ago, and say Kaddish in her memory. May her soul have an aliyah. Please join us in saying this.
Molly, we cannot hear it.
The audio is very low.
Can't hear you now either. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
Okay. The audio on the video is low, but that is as high as we can make it. Do you want me to share it again?
Sure.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברכיותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ורומם ויתנשא, יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תלוש ברכתה ונחמתה דאמרן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Thank you very much for joining us in this sad moment. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Now, if we could have a moment of silence so we can. Thank you. As we move forward with our program, as we know Harriet would have wanted us to do, I'd like to first share a little bit about Kulanu for those that are new to the organization. Kulanu supports isolated, emerging, and returning Jewish communities around the globe. We partner with Jewish communities in more than 30 countries. I'll share a video now from Rosh Hashanah, which features the music of one of our speakers from today, David Baliaba from Cameroon, and you'll be able to see some of the photos from our partner communities. Today's event would not be possible without your support. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you to our sponsors for today's event. Today's event sponsors are Ruth Alexman, Lily Kaufman, Janet Lipsey, Rabbi Gerald, and Benita Sussman. Thank you very much for your support. Now I'd like to introduce Benita Nathan Sussman, Kulanu's acting president. Benita Nathan Sussman is a volunteer with Kulanu and serves as the acting president of the board. She is a graduate of Yeshiva University Stern College and has master's degrees from Columbia University and the Jewish Theological Seminary. Benita is on the editorial staff of the Kulanu magazine, Kulanu's board liaison for the Kulanu academic cohort, and coordinator of new Kulanu partner communities. Benita is published and her photographs of her travels exhibited. Benita has appeared in documentaries and has been on the radio advocating for Kulanu's partner communities. You can visit her YouTube channel, Benita Nathan Sussman, and view on-site interviews and videos of her travels with her husband, Rabbi Gerald Sussman. Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you everyone for coming. And I know while we are saddened in our hearts, on behalf of the Kulanu board, we have resolved to strengthen the mission in Harriet's memory and honor and move this project forward. This is actually the first public Zoom that we're having that Harriet is not part of. And so it's a transition and learning curve for all of us. Thank you, Molly, and thank you, Shoshana, and thank you, David, for participating in this. What's interesting is David is live from Cameroon. He will be the second part of the program. Shoshana, who actually was very beloved by Harriet and Ken, it's still loved by Ken, but was very beloved by Harriet. Shoshana grew up in Uganda's Abuyudaya community. During 2014-2015, she was Kulanu's annual speaker tour representative, touring North America and sharing her personal experiences. Shoshana then spent time studying at Pardes Institute in Israel. In 2018, she began her rabbinical studies at Hebrew Union College in Jerusalem, and she has been at Hebrew Union College in New York since 2019. Shoshana is the author of The Very Best Sukkah, a story from Uganda, which she just told me before we started, popped up as an Amazon #1 bestseller. Shoshana will share her life story and what motivated her to write this book. She will read a few pages from the book as well. Shoshana?
Thank you so much, Bonnie. That makes me sound very impressive. Thank you. So I wanted to share that this book is not just a children's book, it's also based on my life. And as you'll see, the young spirited girl in the book is Shoshi, and I'm Shoshana. Not everybody back home calls me Shoshi, but when I was in Israel, a lot of my friends called me Shoshi, and I really love that. I love that to be a name for a children's book. And so I wrote some parts of my life into this picture book, and as you can see, my brothers are Avram and David, and they also appear in the book. And I grew up with on a farm with goats and growing crops and so many other things. So I was happy for me to bring that part of my life. And also you can see there's a lot of the community's celebration in there. Sukkot is still one of my favorite Jewish holidays, and there's a celebration of how we do it in the community, the memory of this big walk that we used to do, to go around and admire other people's sukkahs. And it was not it in the book that we write about the walk, a competition. It was not always official. It was under the covers. We would of course judge whose sukkah was the best, and the rabbi would usually sit in one of the sukkahs, and everybody would join and would sing Hine Matov and celebrate and have kiddush in one person's sukkah. But that is a memory that I hold and that I had. And when it was time for me to write a book, that is something that I wanted to share. So the reason why I wrote this book, I did not intend on writing a book, but I'm so glad that I did. As you mentioned before, I think Mali or Bonnie, I think Bonnie, you mentioned this. I went around the U.S. speaking with Kulanu and the money, raising money for the Jewish, for the women's programs back home and the Jewish schools that Kulanu supported. And I would tell these stories about my childhood and about growing up and what it means to be Jewish in Uganda. And recently I did a Zoom event that I was still talking about my community, and I'll share some of these stories. And somebody asked from the audience, what is your childhood memory? Like, what story do you remember growing up, or like a Jewish celebration? And so I told the story of the sukkah, and little did I know that this person was a publisher. So she reached out to me after the Zoom conference and said, you could put that story into a children's book. And I knew nothing about writing a children's book, but I had the story. And so we went back and forth, and I talked to my friends, and we ended up writing this children's book. And I'm so glad that we did, because I grew up not reading books at all, because we had no books in the community. I went to school where we were 100 kids in the classroom, and that meant that the only person who would have a textbook or even a storybook was the teacher, and they would read to us. We'd never touched books. That changed a little bit as we were growing. When we grew into teenagers, we had friends who brought us books in Uganda, but all of the books that we had that were brought to us were written by, they were from other places, and they represented, like things that were out of our minds, like we did not know. I talked about snow, I talked about Jewish holidays and foods from other places. And so I'm really grateful and happy that this happened, and that we can start a system where, the kids in Uganda can see their Jewishness celebrated in a book, and see their food and their trees and all their celebrations and their traditions and their clothes. I loved how the illustrator brightly brought out the clothing and the joy and everything of the community. So I'm very grateful. And if you haven't got yourself a copy, can I see by maybe show of hands if you have read the book already? A couple of people. Molly, you have the same book I told you. I have it here as well. So no need to worry. I think I'm going to show you a few pages of the book. And this book was wonderfully, wonderfully illustrated by a woman in Israel who lives on a kibbutz in northern Israel. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Wait, I will get it, because I know that some people who are in Israel and would know the location. It's Kibbutz HaGosherim. Her name is Moran Yogev, and she is Israeli with Ethiopian descent and Iraqi descent and Romanian descent. So it was really wonderful. We went back and forth because I wanted the true representation of the community, including physical features and the landscape and everything. And I think she did such a wonderful job bringing the book. So we're going to leave. I'm sure we'll leave some question. At the end there'll be a question and answer. But for now, I'm going to show you the book, and maybe I can read a few pages, but also just so you are able to view this really beautiful. So I grew up with my grandparents. I grew up growing crops, cassava, maize, so many other crop greens, and all for food. And my grandparents grew coffee that they sold in the market, and that's how we were able to get money to buy other things that we needed. So I will read a few pages, actually. I love this page. As dusk begins to fall, the Jewish families walk to synagogue for Shabbat service. At the synagogue, I sit with my brothers. During his Shabbat talk, the rabbi reminds us that the serious Yom Kippur day is over. Now it is time to celebrate the Jewish people's journey through the desert to Israel. It is time for Sukkot. My brothers and I smile at each other. Sukkot is our favorite holiday. I have to make sure it's moving, but even if it's stuck on one page. I love the beautiful decorations. And this, when the service is over, everybody gathers on the lawn for Kiddush. My brothers and I lay on the grass and watch the sky fill with stars. We try to count them all. Of course, I count the highest. So I love this. We would sit outside at the synagogue, and we would watch the sky, the stars in the sky. This is like a true representation of the area, and when you come right now, you can see that. So this is more information about the sukkah competition. So this part I love. Each sukkah looks different and each one reflects its builder's special skills and talents. Dina is the school's art teacher. Her family's sukkah is decorated with students' colorful artwork. Nalongo, the mother of twins and the village seamstress, has sewn beautiful curtains and pillows for her family's sukkah. And Moses has a sukkah filled with bowls of brightly colored fruits and vegetables from his own bountiful garden. He even has a dish of roasted groundnuts for people to sample as they walk by. Yum. So this introduces the scenario of the competition. All year long, Dawoodi and his daughter Rebecca sell delicious samosas at a stand in the village. Dawoodi has saved his money to buy fancy battery-operated lights and elegant crochet trims in the big town of Mbale to decorate his sukkah. That is not fair, complains Sarah. I spent weeks crocheting and Dawoodi just went into the store and bought everything. How can I compete with those sparkling lights, sighs Jonathan. Dawoodi will definitely win the contest this year, Isaac exclaims. It makes me so sad. It makes me sad to hear everyone so upset. And this is me and my brother decorating our own sukkah. I don't know how much time we have. That's why I'm like, spot reading. You can let me know when to stop. This is always one of my favorite things because in the community we have, after services, every service we have a Torah study, and we usually do it under a very big tree, either it's always a mango tree or some other tree where everybody sits and we learn and eat lunch and have kiddush. And so before the big walk, the rabbi gives his big talk under the mango tree. The rabbi tells us that we can compete and still feel kindness towards each other. He reminds us that the value of the sukkah competition in our community is to bring people together to admire and appreciate the beauty, creativity, and talent of our friends and family. During Sukkot, we remember the Jewish people's journey through the desert to Israel. Like those ancient Jews, we must also work together as a community. In my heart, I agree with the rabbi, but I still want our sukkah to be chosen. Do you think we will win, Jaja? I ask as she tucks me into bed that night. Shoshi, you and your brothers made the best sukkah you've ever built. I think you have already won. Jaja is right as usual. And I give her hand a little squeeze. So this is when everything goes wrong. In Uganda, even recently when I was there in the summer, there was a very big overnight, too much rain, and there was an overflooding. And actually what happened is 27 people died because of overflooding, and the bridge broke. And this is about just 2 miles from where I live. And actually where we walked every day because we had to go to town to use internet and in the coffee places. So the weather changes, especially recently, and because of that, I think the climate change is really horrible and have affected people greatly in terms of famine and other things because the seasons are not the same anymore. There's more drought, or if it rains, it's a lot of rain that is not necessary. So here, David's sukkah, the beautiful battery-operated sukkah, is ruined. And what happens next is people really feel bad because they recently talked about him, and now they feel bad that his sukkah is ruined. So this is when people come together. The whole book of the story, the whole message of the book, one of the messages of the book is that we all win when we work together, when community works together, when we come together and do something together, we all win. When we bring our branches to Dawoodi and Rebecca's house, we find a big crowd of villagers. Everyone has something to share. Dina has some of her students' artwork. Nalongo brings some pillows, and Moses brings a dish of roasted peanuts. The entire village works together to help fix Daudi and Rebecca's sukkah. Daudi passes out his delicious samosas as snacks, and everyone starts singing, Hinema Tovu. See how good it is. Of course, I sing the loudest. Finally, Daudi and Rebecca's sukkah is repaired, and we all admire our handiwork and our bits and there are bits and pieces of every villager built into this repaired sukkah. It is a little mismatch, but everyone thinks this makes it even more beautiful. And the rabbi agrees. Daudi and Rebecca's sukkah has won. The rabbi holds up the lulav and etrog, the important sukkah holiday symbols. He shows us how the lulav is made with 3 different types of branches that bound together. The many different people in our community are bound together in the same way. Are you sad that your sukkah did not win the contest? Shoshi asks Jaja as she tucks me into bed that night. But I did win. We all won, I say sleepily. Everyone helped rebuild Daudi and Rebecca's sukkah, so everyone won the contest. And as I start to doze off, I feel Jaja give my hand a little squeeze. That's the end of the book. And, there's a small history about the Jewish community of Uganda. There's a glossary with words that you heard. Jaja means grandparents, both grandmother and grandfather. We have the same word. There's all the foods and everything. And there's, the Hine Matov song that is translated in Luganda and in Hebrew and in English. So I'm going to stop there for now.
Yes, thank you so much, Shoshana. That was beautiful to hear you read your book in your own words and share with us some of the meaning behind it. Made it truly special. Thank you so much. So now we're going to introduce Rabbi Gerald Sussman. Rabbi Gerald Sussman is the spouse of Benita Nathan Sussman, who we heard from earlier, and they are 2 of Kulanu's wonderful travelers. They have traveled across the globe on behalf of Kulanu to India, Cameroon, Gabon, Ivory Coast, Nicaragua, Papua New Guinea, Nigeria, and maybe even more. He serves as the rabbinic advisor to Kulanu and many of our partner communities as well. Rabbi Gerald Sussman has served as the rabbi of Temple Emmanuel on Staten Island, a traditional congregation, since 1982, and he is the longest serving rabbi in the Staten Island community. He is a founding member of the Union for Traditional Judaism, UTJ, and presently serves as the organization's executive director. He was ordained by the Jewish Theological Seminary of America in 1979. Rabbi Sussman and his wife Benita are the proud parents of 5 children and many grandchildren. Thank you for joining us today, Jerry. Jerry, you need to unmute.
I'm very proud and honored to be able to introduce David Baliaba, and I remember him very well from our trips to Cameroon and the beauty of his music and how it was always present as well. And I also remember many conversations that we had together. And I've looked at his beautiful and very elaborate videos with singers and dancers and so forth online. David Baliaba is a singer from Cameroon, and he uses traditional and current African themes in his music because his parents instilled him in the importance of staying with his origins. David started his solo career in 2002 with the recording of his first album entitled Saint, Saint, Saint. His next album in 2012, Bana Ba Mabono, sung in his mother tongue, showcases the rich culture of his Grand Mabam heritage. David has won awards for his musical talent and is now more present on the national musical scene and certainly now internationally. David?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
David will David will say hello and tell us a bit about himself and his music.
okay. Hello to all of you. First of all, I would like to celebrate the memory of Harriet. I've spoken with her since 1 month just, and for the last album that I've put outside, she was very happy, and she make a publish in his Facebook page. Then I was very happy to speak with her. I was when I heard that she's not, she have gone somewhere. It was something very difficult for me, and I would like to first say, let his soul rest in peace. And also, I want to thank Rav Sussman and Rabbi for all. They are all the good person. And what I would like to, Molly told me that somebody will be here to translate, you know, to speak for me. It can be better for me to speak in French and somebody to translate. Is it possible? Hello?
I don't know about other people, but I think your English is great. We can hear you, but maybe maybe because I can hear you because your accent. I don't know.
Yes, I agree. We've been able to understand everything. Thank you so much for speaking to us in English. And then if you would think you can speak more freely in French, we can do that.
We can do that?
Yeah,
For me to speak in French?
if you would like. Si tu peux, tu
Okay.
parles en français.
Ok, voilà. Donc, l'anglais, je me débrouille. Hein. I'm trying in English. My English is not very good. I prefer to speak in French to go very, very fast. Then, voilà, je suis très honoré. Comme je disais tout à l'heure, que je voulais d'abord particulièrement rendre grâce à Harriet pour ces moments que nous avons passés il y a quelque temps. Mon album, le dernier que je viens de sortir, elle a tellement apprécié. Elle a fait une publication sur Facebook à propos. Voilà, je suis content d'être là. La musique, je l'ai commencé depuis tout petit et chemin faisant, j'ai eu la chance de, derrière le Rabbi Laurent et Lula, de découvrir le judaïsme. Et une fois que j'ai découvert le judaïsme, comment on va dire ça? Je me suis,
Wait a second.
marié.
I'm not sure everybody can understand. Molly, is there the translation underneath? Because I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I think it's not working. I think it's getting confused with the languages. But in essence, he said the same thing that he already had said in English, and then he said it again in French. And he said he wants to share his songs with us and about how it helped him to discover his Judaism. So, David, do you want to start by sharing one of the songs that you wanted to share today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to sing now?
Yes, I can sing. Okay, I will start. I will start with the Psalm, le Psaume 23. Ou alors non, Yerushalayim. Let's take. Erlich Toar Zironer Yerushalayim Yerushalayim Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim, Erlei paret mimer Eretz Israel, Erlo likoko yomed al Zion agdoshot alei, Aleph bet Gimel Dalet Vav, Zayin Het Yod Kaf Lamed, Mem Nun Samech, Ayin Petah Yeh, Kof Resh Shin Tav, Ya la ilaha illa, Ya ila la la, Ya la ilaha illa, Ya la ilaha illa, Ya la ilaha, Ya la 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 ilaha. Thank you. It was the first.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Could you please
you.
introduce
Beautiful.
us to who is this young man next to you?
This is my last one, Limo. His name
Lior.
is Limo. Yes, Limo Lior.
Hi, welcome.
Salut. And this is Uriel. Speak in English. This is Uriel.
Hi, Uriel. Do you
The first one. Okay, I will move so that they can get in you. Okay, get you. This is first one. Hi.
Hi, Chaim. Welcome.
Yes. Fine.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome and thank you. Welcome and thank you.
Viens par ici.
Good evening.
Do you play music? Do they play music?
Yes.
What do you play?
All are the singers. We can sing something together. I don't know.
Please sing something together.
No, chanson à deux.
Hine Matov sounds great.
Hine matov manai shevet arim gamya. Hine matov manai shevet arim gamya. Hine matov shevet arim gamya. Hine matov shevet arim gamya. You know, my children are the first who love all my music. When I sing, they are the first. And they say, oh, Papa, very good, very good, very good.
That's great, children. That's a good role for children.
Thank
What
you.
else? Will you play something else or should we play a recording? You want to sing with them some more?
On peut encore chanter quoi?
Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi. Non, on va faire pas ce soir. Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi. Lecha
Bene Shabbat Kabela. Shamo bezaro bejibu era. Ishmianu el ameura. Adonai era. Ushmo era. Leshem multiferet belitila. Les radodi, l'ikerat kala, les radodi, bene Shabbat kabela. Encore quoi, hein? Bon. Père. Cinema, tinye gumoro besebe, yo geto nati mbudi nati ile gudu, vede nana nechoma. Amodombie momodombo, abiabugaga, abemba momoto, embele agubuliga tupe, peya gyoyo, peya deya, elemo mamana, peya gyoyo, peya deya, elemo nigomi. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we have some pre-recorded music that we could play. You have a video? Molly, is there a video?
The Baliaba Square.
Yes. That was terrific. Yafema Ode, Mitsuyan.
Please.
Molly, there is some pre-recorded video, right?
Okay.
Right, David, you have some pre-recorded stuff that we could show on the video, right?
I have the tikva video. Do you want to share that one?
Sure.
Stop it.
Thank you. Is there another video that we want to show, or can I open it up for comments? Molly?
Yeah, we can open it up for questions and comments now.
Well, okay, David, do you have anything else you want to show us? Any other videos? You want to show us Africa? The Africa video with the dancers? Come, I think that would be a fun thing to end your presentation with. David, do you hear me? Uh-oh.
Who has it? Does she have it?
I don't know. I think he's looking for it.
Okay, I'll share my screen with it now.
Okay, you have the Africa dancers, right?
Yes, I believe I'll put it on and tell me if it's the right one, but I think it's
Okay, thanks. Okay, good. And then we'll open it up for comments.
Iya, dari Baliaba, Lugeri Mbamwa. Mayame. Angulu mona basanga kane bini dele hanga mama na kane bini di basa. Aki udwi mene gubise nyoda ya ho. Kobono bese gubuso basanga Kane bini dele hanga Baliaba, Odemaya Baliaba. Angulu mona bagesago kani bini dege hema mama na kani bini dembala. Aki udwi mene kwa gana isago bono bese kubise buwalu Kene, PDG Makat. Begunu na bokolo, ngebe bine kubiso basanga. Iya, betondo na bengele finge bebine kubiso basanga. Hey, le boss. Le président. Omesa. Gettinge. Buraka. Astajam. Mukonkume Dani. Kanibine Mbala. Ambadjan Charles. Honorable François Xavier Mpon. Le matin de Kiki. Maître Alama. Maître Nkono André. Ami. Frère, ami. Dieguluge Nagedongo. Hai. Nabigolo. Namakopa Kopa. Mayame. Mustapha Maïdati. Hey. Yolande Bojom. Maître Kene Endo. Kanipine Mbala. Kanipine Ibasa. Kanipine Mbala. Hey. Kidogom, Kodonkom, Kidogom, Kodonkom, Kidonkom. Ah, mon grand frère, Joseph Adebada. Aïe, Atoube Ambassa. Hey.
Wow. Wow, I think that speaks for itself. Let's open it up for comments. Anybody want to speak, share their peace of mind on how wonderful this program is? If there's questions for Shoshana or questions for David, let's move it forward.
I have a
Molly?
question.
Okay, sure.
Hi, beautiful, really spectacular. Do you use any of the music in the synagogue? Your local sort of traditional music in the prayers?
If I use music,
If you use your traditional local sort of music in the synagogue during the prayers?
in Cameroon,
Yes.
yes. Yes, sometimes we have some songs that we can use, that we use in the prayer. Some African songs in Cameroon here.
For example, could you play us one song?
Yeah.
One song? You
Yeah.
want me to play one song?
I just want to say that the Lecha Dodi that you sung is very beautiful, and I first heard you sing it in Cameroon, and then I sometimes sing it in our my synagogue in New York as well. But it's really a lovely melody.
No, I didn't sing. I didn't. What? No, I've not come out of Cameroon. I've not been in Senegal to sing there. I'm in Cameroon.
No.
I don't know if I
No.
understand very well your question.
No, my husband said we heard you sing it, and we sing it in New York now. You understand?
You sing it in New York.
Nous chantons en New York, c'est Lecha Dodi.
Okay. Thank you. I'm very happy.
Okay,
Can we hear it? Can we hear just one
Ari,
verse
we
of it?
did. Ari, you maybe
Oh,
came
I'm sorry.
in late. He played Lecha Dodi.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Who else has a question here or comment? Molly, I'm having trouble seeing, so if you could, anybody have their hand up? Does anybody want to say wow?
There's no, oh, we have Sherry has her hand up now.
Okay, Sherry. Sherry with the hand up.
Yes, that's me. Okay. Just a second. That's me. I can't unmute myself. I'm not allowed. Okay.
No, you're here. We can hear you now.
Okay, I was trying to unmute myself. Thank you so much to all the other participants for bringing so much joy to me on this special day. I just recovered from participating in Rosh Hashanah services. I blow shofar, sing in the choir, and I'm getting ready for Yom Kippur. Today you brought me lots of joy and happiness, and I have a question for David. Do you write any music? Do you compose?
Yes, I write music and I compose also. I have many songs in Hebrew, in my language tongue, in my mother tongue, in French, in English also. Then I sing in many tongues.
What is your mother tongue?
My mother tongue, we call it Nugunu.
Nugunu.
Or Yambasa.
Yambasa. Are you planning to visit the United States to bring your beautiful music to us in person?
If you invite me, maybe now I can come there and you will be very happy.
Okay, we'll invite you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any kind of comments or to tell us, and where we could sort of, please turn your microphone. Okay, I see a waving hand. Hi. Unmute yourself.
Gershon.
No, I wanted to say one thing about Shoshana. the
Okay.
books of Shoshana. I hear about her here in France, and the people are always asking me if I know her. This is the first time to see her. In our movement here, many people know her, but me, I don't know. I am so happy to see her, and I will get her book. I will buy it.
Gershon, thank you for coming. Gershon is the President La Fédération des Juifs Noirs in France.
Okay, I greet Gershon. Gershon, shalom.
Shalom.
It's nice to meet you, Gershon.
Thank you.
Okay, who else has a question or a comment? It was wow, right, everybody? We can all give it applause here.
Oh, fabulous.
To both, it was fabulous, right? Okay, so I kind of want to wrap up. It's the full hour and I don't like keeping people. In behalf of, first of all, I want to thank everybody who helped make this happen. And a special thank you to Molly, and a special thank you to David, and a special thank you to Shoshana, and all you wonderful people who keep coming back to these Zooms. The next Zoom we're hoping to plan is a memorial and honor to Harriet and all the wonderful things that she's done. Oh, I see Keshi here. Thank you, Keshi, for any help you've given. And thank you, Joanne, for any help you've given. All these wonderful people who are helping move this mission forward without Harriet at the top. I want to thank all of you for coming and let the word out. And Harriet always gives a little pitch to why we should give to Kulanu, but I think that these programs really speak for themselves. And the special work that Shoshana has done through many years, and her book, it gave me the goose pimples. It was so magnificent, the pictures, like, wow, everybody should get this book for their grandchildren and their libraries for their Hebrew schools and whatever else you're attached to, and it's beautiful to have even for yourselves. And David, I had promised you many years ago that I was going to do something with your music. And it's maybe taken over 10 years for this to happen. And I want to thank you for your magnificent music and how your music really is inspirational. And I hope that this opportunity opens up for you different opportunities as well. So I think these programs actually speak for themselves. And if you want to donate some money in memory of Harriet or send us a little note, we'll be putting together like memorial books. And we'd appreciate anybody who would like to submit a comment or a memory or something that you remember about Harriet that we would not know. And in the, these are the days, the Aseret Yemei Tshuva, the days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I wish all of you a Gemar Chatima Tova. May you all be sealed for a long life, a healthy life, a life full of good deeds, filled with loving kindness and charity and everything and all the blessings that Hashem can give you in manifold times. And may we never see the sadness and the pain that we've seen in the last few years. And may we all live to see peace in this world, peace for the Jews, peace for Israel, peace for all humankind. And I would say amen if anybody wants to say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, can we close this? Is everybody finished with the comments, or is there any more that I missed? Okay, thank you everybody for coming. And you all know how to give a contribution if you're so, between the 10 days, it's a mitzvah to give tzedakah. Remember that. Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody. Bye.
So for David, you can
Wait,
follow.
there's a doctor, somebody here with his hand up.
I've asked him to mute a few times. I don't think he's able to join us. But there is a question that just came in about David's music. Is there a way to get DVDs or CDs of David's music? I put David's Facebook page in the chat earlier, so you can contact him that way. But David, I don't know, is there a way to buy your CDs or your music that you want to share? Is Apple Music the best way?
Can you hear me? No?
Yes, now
Yes.
we can.
All right. No, I just wanted to say to thank David. I'm Dr. Blessing. I was once in Cameroon and now relocated to the UK. And I had the pleasure to actually, visit David at his home. And he may not remember, he gave me one of his CDs, which I still have. I think that was 3 or 4 years ago. So thank you very much, David. I wish you the best.
We have this long-term plan, and maybe David knows how to do it, to get African Jewish music on Spotify, so that if you and you'd have a playlist come up, and if you would type in Spotify Jewish Africa or African Jewish, then you'd get a playlist. So that's on one of Kulanu's goals. I don't know when that'll happen, but at some point you should see David's music and other people's music on it, if we can figure out how to do this.
Right. So
David's music is actually on Spotify right now, if that's something that people use.
Oh.
Yeah, I listen to it on Spotify.
Great. Shoshana, do you have the link handy? Because the Apple Music link wasn't working right.
I can
Seems to be empty.
check, but I think if you go to Spotify and type in David Baliaba, I think you can find it.
Okay, because the Apple
It
Music
might take-
popped up, but when I went to look at it, it seems to be empty actually. But he asked that we share his Facebook page as a way for people to connect with him and to hear his music. So that was what he had suggested earlier. I don't know if he can actually hear us now. So I just found it on Spotify, Shoshana. Thank you for that. So I put the link in there for everyone. And so hopefully people can connect and hear the music and read Shoshana's book to hear more about the Jewish African communities and be a little bit like they're part of it in a way. Are there any last comments or any questions?
Thank you, and stay tuned for more Zooms.
Yes. So
Okay.
just if you attended or RSVP'd, you'll be on our list. So keep an eye out on your email.
Okay. Gemar Chatima Tova, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Marketing Matova.